Starts at 2. Yep.
Following footsteps, unlighted room, feeling the cold, feeling the gloom. Voices are speaking, around the uncanny way. Bodies unkept, horrible display.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Sunday Spin. As always, my man to my left, G Money. Want to say hello, Jenna Greno? How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great, Vinny, and yourself?
I could not be better. Hey, who are we sponsored by this week, G?
Oh, this week, next week, and every week before and now until eternity. That's right, under the Russo Empire. It's powered by Stables Media.
Absolutely. And we couldn't be happier about our guest this afternoon. I'm very excited to bring a very, very talented artist and a friend of mine from my days in Oklahoma, the wonderfully lovely and talented Miss Jennifer James. Jennifer, how are you this afternoon? Thanks for joining us.
I am absolutely so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I appreciate being able to get to know everyone and have everyone get to know me and my music today.
Thanks for joining us, Jennifer. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's a great honor to have you here. And again, you know, Oklahoma, like everywhere else, is suffering the live pandemic blues, for lack of a better word. So the first thing I want to ask, because I have a piece of my heart back in Oklahoma, as you know, what's the live music scene been like? Has there been one? Is there a future for one?
There have been some. Let's see. I think we've reopened bars. So there have been some venues like that. It's not something I'm comfortable playing at right now. I did get my first vaccination. I'm looking forward to my second.
Congratulations.
Yes.
The weather is conducive to outdoor playing, so I'm hoping to score some gigs like that. And you and I, we were talking a little bit before the show started, and I had just moved from rural Oklahoma, Shawnee, Oklahoma, to Oklahoma City to kind of launch my career, to put it on the next level. And got in my new house when the pandemic really hit. Felt like it was a race against time to get here. I got new business cards made, was going to go out there and start playing at any and every venue I could, and it stalled, and it broke my heart a little bit. I've really missed it, so it's really good to be able to come here on a venue like this and share my story and share my music.
Absolutely. And we're honored to have you here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Gee, any questions?
I just, Jennifer, I mean, just to get started, it's the classic Vinny question, but I'm going to steal it, is just how did you get started with music, playing music?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think I knew I could sing from a fairly early age. I have to admit, I am a much better vocalist than I am guitar player. But I do know enough to accompany myself.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, no, that's great.
And she's being modest, Greno. I've heard her play. She's a fantastic guitar player, but she does have one of the best voices in the state, in my opinion. I've always said that, Jennifer. So anyway, continue. Yeah.
I appreciate that. Well, and I was my own worst enemy for so many years. I suffered from stage fright, and now we've all had times where we've gone on stage and we've been nervous, and you've had that nervous energy, and but it's difficult because your nerves can really sabotage your performance, and so you get up on stage and you can't control your nerves. You have a bad performance, which reinforces I'm not good enough, so you just don't try. And unfortunately, half of my life, I didn't perform live. Maybe friends, family, people I was comfortable with, seeing me fail if I failed. And then I started through work teaching a class, and really believed what I was teaching. Was very passionate about it. I learned that the more prepared I was, the more relaxed I was, the more honest I was, the better reception from the people in class. And I decided that I could take that into my music. And so around the age of 35, I decided to dust off this old beautiful Alvarez Yari guitar of mine that I got for graduation from high school, and
Nice.
had to get it tuned up and fixed up a little bit, and started playing again. And I also quit smoking. I
Oh,
smoked for a good 25 years, and tried several times to quit, and made a goal with my doctor that I would audition for The Voice, and I was going to quit smoking so that I could do my best at that audition. And it gave me something to really, a carrot, a physical, real carrot to work toward. And so that helped. So I don't have the range that I used to in my 20s, but who does? I'm
right.
fortunate that I do still have my voice after smoking for so many years. So then I started working in Shawnee, Oklahoma. I'd get little gigs at restaurants, the Lunchbox in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Mayor Ed Bolt was really helpful in getting my name circulated, and even if it were events that I did for free or I got paid to do, which was wonderful. He would really help me out. And I think I really enjoyed the Christmas parade. I've played in the Christmas parade in Shawnee twice, and those kids are something else. And it's always the little boys. I don't know what it is, but there was a little boy I played up on the housetop, click, click, click. And it was apparently his favorite song. And he literally dragged his mother over to me in the middle of my performance saying, "Thank you for click, click, click. Thank you for click, click, click." And then he came over again after the song was over when it was more appropriate. And "Thank you for click, click, click." And, that was more than any amount of money, anything. So, yeah, that's my story. Then moved to Oklahoma City, like I said, to come out on this scene, and the pandemic happened, and I just haven't done. I've been writing. I haven't put the guitar down by any means. Always practicing that old set list that gets old, but you have to keep it fresh and on your mind, that muscle memory when it comes to playing music. So I haven't stopped playing, but I've just stopped playing live, and I'm really, really hoping that late spring, early summer, I can get back out there and start working. Not only do I want to do my own individual, just Jennifer James. Eventually, I want to hire a guitar player so that I could play the rhythm I was born to play, and someone else can handle the lead guitar. But I'd also like to just be a featured artist in bands that are already established. There's nothing like an electric guitar and a drum set and all that power that I don't necessarily get to explore with the acoustic set. I can, but War Pigs just doesn't sound the same on an acoustic guitar.
And you're going to grace us with a song later on too, right, Jennifer?
I'm sorry?
You're going to grace our Sunday Spin viewers with a song later on, right?
Yeah, I'll let you guys.
Fantastic. So stay tuned, you guys. Benny, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, not at all, Grano, not at all. I just love the story, Jennifer, about the whole balance. And, you hit the nail on the head, and it really touched me to hear the yin and the yang of the stage fright versus the acceptance. And for me, it's always been that double-edged sword that's always been my performing life. I'm terrified to do it, but no, I have to do it to get a response, to get what you're craving. And Yeah, it is definitely an obstacle that I still fight to this day. I don't always win, but when I do, it's a tremendous feeling. It's like hitting a ball over the wall, and it's the most courageous thing you can do, Jennifer. So yeah, I'm damn proud of you. I
Kudos.
really am.
Thank you.
You've come a long way. You really have. I miss the days in Oklahoma. One thing I can tell you about Oklahoma audiences is they do appreciate quality. But if you don't have that quality, you won't be appreciated. So they are a tough crowd. My experiences, good, bad, and everything in between. Jennifer, I got to ask, best gig, worst gig from your days as an artist out there?
Worst gig, I would have to say, I was in a band in high school, a rock band in high school. And we played a little town called Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm sure that's
made famous by what, Merle Haggard, correct?
Yes. And we played a lot of Heart, Led Zeppelin, Rush, and the crowd we played were into the Beastie Boys, things like that. And we weren't well received at all. And I can remember, is this G-rated? Is this show?
It's your moment, okay. Jennifer.
Yeah.
Yep. As we pulled out of the venue that night, I gave him one of these. Of course, I was young, and everyone should have stopped what they're doing and listened to me because I was privileged and I had so much worldly experience. And it was a good humbling experience for a young, cocky artist as myself.
But you say that, Jennifer, and so much of what you said is true about performance and acceptance and everything else. But what about the effort that goes into it just to make the scene, so to speak? Because my biggest thing about Oklahoma, I'm just going to come right out and say it, is they should have appreciated the effort in more cases. I mean, hair notwithstanding, I can duck a beer bottle as much as the next guy. But what about the effort?
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize what it is to play live, and it's a lot of manual labor. Just, you have to load up, you have to unload, you've got to, and in my case, keep your hair tight, keep the lipstick and makeup on, you don't want to sweat it off. And then there's breaking down your rig after the show is over and you're exhausted because you've been battling stage fright and trying to overcome it and trying to convince yourself you're Muhammad Ali out there, that you're the best and the greatest. And
that's great.
Yeah, so that. I think if people knew not only the going to the gig and coming back from the gig, but the amount of practice. I've actually got like a little public service video on my YouTube channel, Jennifer James Music, that talks about, go to local venues and support your local artists. And it's a video of me trying to get a song right. And one of the techniques that I use is videoing myself because I can hear it when I play it, but it's one thing to record it and then hear it back while you're quiet. And so that was my experience. And I take certain takes. So if I like what I did with the first try, I'll say second verse, take one, make a little notes. Or if I didn't like what I did, don't play it like the third take, in the second verse. So that's one of the techniques that I use. And I was so frustrated at that video. I thought, wouldn't it be good for other people to see what artists go through, just one little song? And so, yeah, it's a little public service announcement. It's got little words that come up talking about my frustration and how important it is to support local artists.
Definitely.
Yeah, words of wisdom, Jennifer. Very well stated. And in Oklahoma, when I got there originally after spending years in California, I really delved into everything that was Oklahoma, the heartland. Really got involved in the country music scene, but going back to Muskogee and Merle Haggard, I'm old school. I wasn't going to sit and play Garth Brooks covers at some dive bar in Stillwater. wasn't going to have it, I'd play George Jones, you know, or Haggard or Willie Nelson songs. And College City, tough crowds.
Oh, yeah.
I think I would have enjoyed my time in Shawnee a bit more.
Yeah, and I think it's important too to just, you know, I'm not a rowdy bar kind of performer if it's just me and my acoustic. And I've gone to play venues like that and it just doesn't work. So knowing what venues are appropriate, I am perfect for that background romantic dinner kind of thing, or a coffee shop or a festival. So knowing what venues work best with your sound is really important. And
Yeah.
like you, I I guess I've been kind of a country music snob. Now I do like the old country, Dolly Parton, old country to me, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, Loretta Lynn. Um, but some of the newer stuff I've been a little bit of a snob with until I saw the Ken Burns documentary. Have you all seen that?
Yes, I have.
20,000 hours of it or however.
Yeah.
Long. Yeah. That's Ken Burns for you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thorough.
very thorough.
Yeah. And so I have a whole new appreciation for that now. And also the blues as well. So, and the state of Tennessee and the magic that happened there. I mean, country music and gospel, rhythm and blues, all born in that one state. And then it hit the Mississippi, went north and south, then went worldwide. And it took the British artists to appreciate rhythm and blues before we did. We were too caught up in our own racism and slavery and our vile history where that's concerned. And it took the British to kind of show us what we had, the beauty that we had in that Delta River music. So I'm going to be going on vacation someday to Memphis, and I want to roll up my sleeves and walk barefoot on Beale if I have to.
And you're going to love every minute of it, and it's well deserved. I spent 4 years in the Nashville area, and the one thing I can tell you is they really do have a Nashville sound, and you're either part of that clique or you're not part of that clique. But, and it's a huge but in my opinion, that 4-hour drive to Memphis will really put things in perspective for you, because again, mentioning the blues, Sun Records, Elvis, Jerry Lee, you know, it really does bring you back to what it, for me as a guitar player, it's really all about. Mm-hmm. My problem was trying to bring a Bakersfield sound of country to Nashville. Should have known better, right? That was my fault.
Then we got to give a quick shout out to our pals in Tennessee too, the Hilbert brothers.
Absolutely.
The upper
boys, the Hilbert brothers.
Ben, yeah, great musicians out there, friends of ours that are working with us right now on some music. So, yeah, what a great experience to have that pilgrimage to go out there.
Yeah,
really fun, Jennifer. And Jennifer, you mentioned your YouTube page. I've got a little scroll thing on the bottom saying Jennifer James Music YouTube channel, and they can subscribe as well when they're there. So
absolutely,
hopefully people will check that out.
Yeah.
Well worth the trip.
Yeah, it is. I checked it out earlier. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've got some good demos on there. I haven't gone to a recording studio yet, but that should be in my future.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what about recording, Jennifer? Do you see any recording plans down the road, solo with a group, a project, anything?
One of the benefits of this pandemic is that it got me, into my bathrobe and quiet and still. And I gained a good perspective. I spent a lot of time reading about songwriting and learning some tricks of the trade. So I've got some music that I'm going to send to the Library of Congress soon. And actually, I'm going to use my STEMI check to do that. and
Nice.
then we'll see what the future holds. But yeah, I've got some songs that I've written during this time, and
Great.
really looking forward to it. And if we've got any struggling songwriters out there, I will tell you a little trick that I learned. Do we have time?
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely, Jennifer.
absolutely.
Okay. So I don't know about you guys or if you write music, but I had a good 15, 20 songs that I had been writing for 25 years that just never got, maybe I got the hook down, or I knew what story I wanted to tell. I just didn't really quite know how to tell it. So one of the tricks that I learned is that you take one of these songs that you've been struggling with for so long, and you give yourself, you get a timer, and you set a certain amount of time with what you're comfortable with. I was probably about 50% of the way finished with a certain song. And I set a timer for 20 minutes, and I had 20 minutes to write that song, whether I liked it, whether I didn't. And it worked like a charm. This is something that I'd been working on probably since high school, going around in my head. And I was at the last 20 or 10 seconds of that timer, and I'm like, oh my God, what rhymes with fire? What rhymes with fire? Just say fire again. And it worked out so well. So yeah, so that is, you've been struggling trying to write a song, and you don't have to stick with it if you don't like the end product. I just happen to really like the end product. So
Musical Beat the Clock with Jennifer James. You gotta love it. That Songwriter Showcase, right, Greno?
That's it. Yeah.
Hey,
Got it.
Jennifer, how about some shout outs? You got any shout outs? Some people out there who are tuning in to see you?
no, I didn't. I don't. I have to say I was a little nervous, and I thought I've shared it with my family, and I've got a friend, Deborah, who may be watching. I don't know. But no, I really didn't tell anyone. Now, I did tell them when I thought I was coming in February, but because I have pneumonia, or I guess, yeah, I still technically have pneumonia. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make this or not. And, I let you know that, Vince, that I'd be remiss if I made promises and then didn't keep them, or wasn't able to perform.
Yeah, it's not your style, Jennifer. We know that. Yeah.
So I really didn't advertise, but I did tell some family and one friend.
Well, the good news, Jennifer, is you'll be able to tell your friends that you're going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be preserved for prosperity, thanks to the good folks at Stables Media. Correct, Greno?
Absolutely. Yeah. We want to
Stables
encourage
Media.
people to check it out after the fact. That's one of the wonderful things about this technology, is it's fun to watch it live, but people can binge watch later on and check it out and see your message, Jennifer. It's just great to have you on, and I'm excited to see you perform too.
Yes, absolutely. Tell us about the song, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd let you all pick. Do you want to hear a little Johnny Cash, or do you want to hear a little Bruce Springsteen?
Oh boy, if we could only have a viewer vote. I know who I'm voting for.
I'm with you, Vinny. I mean, we do this thing telepathically. So
Jen, yeah, just as a preamble to your song, I was living on Johnny Cash Parkway in Hendersonville, Tennessee, 2 blocks from the man himself. I used to go and put guitar picks on his grave every year.
Oh.
So yes, you couldn't pick anybody better than Johnny Cash.
Hey, baby.
Yep, the stage is yours, Jennifer.
All right.
Jennifer James performing on Sunday Spin, everybody.
Sorry, pneumonia. I have to. Let me.
Yeah, take your time.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. I the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, 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 and the flames went high. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child. Oh yeah, and the fire went wild. The fire went wild. 'Cause I fell into a burning ring of fire. It went down, 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 and the flames went high. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Fantastic.
Thank you. How was the audio? Is it okay?
The audio was fantastic, and so are you, Jennifer. You don't give yourself enough credit as a guitar player. You've come a long way, and the voice is unmistakable. You know,
Great job.
beautiful.
Well, and they just started mowing my yard right when I started.
It never fails, right?
That's rock and roll, though, right?
That's it. Now you're a shining star, Jennifer. You always have been.
Thank you. And thank you
bet.
for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. It feels so good. To see
Well, you know, don't be surprised if the folks from your friendly neighborhood record company call a coming, huh?
Let's hope so.
I think there's a spot for you on somebody's roster, Jennifer. I really do. You deserve it.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're an inspiration and a shining light, and I really want to thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. And my final message is don't let that fear stop you. You just go right ahead. You become your own Muhammad Ali. You make up rhymes about how you're going to kick everyone's ass and you're going to go out there and you're going to be the greatest ever born, and you just make it happen. And one of my favorite quotes from him is, I was telling myself that I was the greatest even before I knew I was.
There you go. Fantastic. Words of wisdom. Jennifer James. What a pleasure it's been, Vinny.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for your time, Jennifer. Don't forget to check out Jennifer's YouTube channel. She's available for hire. She's the pride of an area that means a lot to me. And Jennifer, thanks again. Best of luck to you. You certainly deserve all the good fortune that's going to come your way.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And
What
Vin,
we got next week, G?
yes, before we go, next week, your friend and mine, a skinny mulligan, Mr. Anthony Davis.
The
And
Ant-Man.
not the power forward from the Los Angeles Lakers.
No.
And don't say the other Anthony Davis, because he was Anthony Davis before AD was. So
That's correct, man.
super excited. Guitar player for the band Hitbone here in Colorado Springs. And wow, what a powerhouse. It's going to be so much fun. And Jennifer, again, it's a great getting to know you. Again, this was my first time meeting Jennifer, so what a treat. I'm going to follow what you got moving forward very closely. Anything that we can do on Sunday Spin to help promote future endeavors, let us know. Also, if there's anyone that you would like to see on our show, please let us know. Just off air or whatever, or direct message us. We want to get some quality talent just like yourself. Could be someone from your area or just a friend that you want to hook up. So again, all the best to you, Jennifer. We'll be following very closely. Vinny, who are we powered by?
My man, my number one paisano, Tony Russo, and all the good folks at Stables Media. Freedom to Rock is granted. We'll see you next week, guys. Peace.
We love you guys. Thanks again. Sunday Spin. Be happy, be safe, but most of all, be positive. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. And yeah, have a fantastic week. All right. See you guys soon.
Peace.